Picture this. A neighborhood so pristine you'd think it was plucked from a real estate brochure. Until its HOA president, drunk on authority, tried unlocking someone's car with what she claimed was a master key. When it didn't work, she actually called the police and ended up in handcuffs herself. Sounds made up, right? I wish it were. My name's Ethan. I build next-gen automotive security systems for a living. Think anti-theft features that would make a spy jealous. I moved to Cedar Hollow looking for peace and a quiet space to work on my personal tech experiments. It seemed perfect. Manicured yards, identical mailboxes, and a peaceful rhythm. That illusion shattered the moment I met Cynthia Caldwell. Cynthia, the HOA president, carried herself like royalty, but the cheap knockoff kind. She paraded around in loud, mismatched designer imitations and drove a massive silver SUV. She parked wherever she pleased. Her smile was more of a threat, and her voice? It could turn good morning into a legal notice. Our first run-in came 3 weeks after I moved in. I was outside giving my car, nicknamed Sentinel, a routine wash. It's not flashy, but under the hood, it's a fortress. Multiple security layers, remote perimeter sensors, ignition recognition, the whole package. I was mid-scrub when her SUV rolled up and idled at the curb like it was staking me out. She climbed out, clipboard in hand, wearing a jacket so loud I could hear it thinking. "You can't wash your car today," she said, oozing superiority. "It's not an approved car washing day." I paused, confused. I'd reviewed the HOA rules front to back before buying. There was nothing about car wash schedules. Politely, I asked her to point me to the clause. Her smirk thinned. "It's a new water-saving measure," she said, tapping her pen on her clipboard. "A memo is coming. But you need to stop now." I smelled the lie immediately. "Unless it's been voted on and added to the bylaws," I replied calmly, "it's not enforceable." I kept washing. Her expression cycled between disbelief and rage before she scribbled something on her clipboard and stormed off. That was the day I officially landed on Cynthia's enemy list. The next few weeks, the fines rolled in, each more absurd than the last. $50 for my recycling bin staying out 2 hours too long. $75 for a yellowing patch of grass the size of a napkin. I documented every infraction, every letter, every bogus claim. I sent certified responses, filed everything. I wasn't about to be steamrolled by some petty dictator in a pink blazer. Mr. Thompson, the elderly gentleman across the street, whispered to me one day while checking his mail. "Careful, son. Cynthia collects grudges like trophies. Seen it before. Keep your head down." But I didn't move to Cedar Hollow to cower. My work requires precision and strategy, and that mindset kicked in fast. I buried myself in state HOA law and dug up everything on resident rights, board procedures, and misuse of authority. And then she got obsessed with Sentinel. Its sleek, understated look seemed to offend her blingy sensibilities. I started finding fake official HOA notes under my wipers complaining about non-existent violations, dust on the bumper, threatening rims. I filed them all. Said nothing. Waited. Then she tried to get my car towed. The HOA sent out an urgent notice claiming my vehicle was blocking emergency access. I checked my security cameras. It was parked straight, with space for a moving truck. I responded with photo evidence and a warning. "Tow it, and you're facing charges." The tow never happened. But I could tell Cynthia wasn't done. Then came the wildest twist. Whispers spread that she wanted the HOA to have master keys for all resident vehicles. I didn't believe it. Until Rachel, a sympathetic board member, pulled me aside one morning. "She's pushing for it," she said, eyes wide. "Telling people it's for security compliance. Some folks are actually scared and asking if they have to hand over their car keys." My jaw dropped. Car keys? Does she think we live in 1975? These vehicles run on encrypted fobs and coded access. Rachel nodded grimly. She doesn't care. She thinks as president, she has the right. As someone who designs anti-intrusion systems for a living, I couldn't decide whether to laugh or scream. What she was suggesting wasn't just absurd, it was criminal. I immediately contacted my lawyer, Laura Bennett. She laughed at first, then went cold. "Ethan, that's a serious breach. Potential conspiracy. Harassment. Keep every record." We're documenting a pattern. Then the final hammer dropped. A glossy, over-the-top letter landed in every mailbox. The HOA, under Cynthia's name, demanded duplicate car keys from all residents within 30 days. It cited security protocol compliance and threatened immobilization of vehicles for noncompliance. I stared at the paper, stunned. We weren't living in a community. We were living in a petty kingdom. But Cynthia didn't realize something important. I wasn't just another quiet resident. I was the wrong person to pick a war with. And war? It was just beginning. It wasn't a suggestion. It was a veiled threat. Bennett, my attorney, drafted a cease and desist so pointed it could have drawn blood. It referenced privacy violations and hinted at legal action. We mailed it certified. Cynthia signed for it herself. Then came silence. Not the kind born of surrender, but the kind that creeps in before something vicious. I didn't let up. I doubled my security measures, ensuring no part of my property was out of view. My vehicle, Sentinel, had a state-of-the-art dash cam with motion sensors and a battery that could outlast a blackout. If Cynthia made a move, I'd catch it. Every lie, every flinch, every fraudulent step. The confrontation happened on a sunlit Saturday, ideal for garage work. At 10:30 a.m., I got a notification. Movement in the driveway. I checked the feed. There she was, Cynthia, radiating chaos in a highlighter orange pantsuit, exiting her SUV half-parked on the sidewalk. Trailing her like a nervous puppy was Tim, the HOA's hapless landscaper, lugging a toolbox like his life depended on it. Cynthia strode right up to Sentinel, pulled a key from her purse like it was Excalibur, and raised it dramatically. It was a generic blank, worthless against my vehicle's high-tech lock. She jammed it in, grunting and twisting like sheer determination could override physics. It didn't. She tried again. Nothing. Then Sentinel responded. Sirens, lights, the works. I'd programmed it to be as aggressive as legally possible. The street echoed with shrieking alarms. Birds scattered. Curtains parted. She stumbled back, clutching her chest like a B-movie starlet. Tim dropped his tools and vanished, bolts and screws clattering. But Cynthia, in true delusion, wasn't finished. She whipped out her phone and called 911. Every word was caught on my cameras. This is Cynthia Caldwell, HOA president. There's a suspicious vehicle. The alarm is disturbing the peace. I attempted to secure it, but the homeowner is combative and may be dangerous. Please send help. I paused the recording and smiled. With a tap on my phone, I shut off Sentinel's alarm. The silence that followed hit harder than the noise. Cynthia stood there, lips tight, arms crossed, waiting like she had the law on speed dial. 5 minutes later, the flashing red and blue arrived. Officers Daniels and Lee stepped out. Daniels was a seasoned type, no time for nonsense. Lee looked sharp, observant. Cynthia made a beeline toward them. Thank goodness, she began, breathless. Ethan Parker is causing a disturbance. His car alarm's terrorizing everyone. I attempted a standard HOA inspection, and he became threatening. I'm concerned the car may be stolen. Oscar-worthy performance. If she'd had tears, she'd have nailed an Emmy. I approached, phone in hand, calm and casual. Morning, officers. I'm Ethan Parker. This woman attempted to enter my vehicle with a non-functional key, triggered the alarm, then fabricated a story for 911. I have video from 3 angles, audio included. Cynthia's jaw slackened. Lies. That's the HOA master key. I was within my rights. Daniels gave her a long look. An HOA key for a private vehicle? Let me see this key and the rule that backs it. Flustered, she handed him the blank like it was the Holy Grail. Daniels studied it, then glanced at Sentinel. This is a common house key blank. Trying to open a car with it, without permission, is considered unlawful tampering. She stammered. But I'm responsible for safety. The rules. I invited them inside to review the evidence. In my workshop, we watched the footage. Her awkward attempt to break in, the alarm blast, her dramatic phone call. I showed them the HOA's key policy, and the cease and desist letter with her signature. Daniel's expression turned grim. Back outside, Cynthia was pacing now, the boldness leaking out of her. Daniels addressed her with authority. Ms. Caldwell, the evidence is clear. You attempted illegal entry, filed a false police report, and misused emergency services. These are serious offenses. Her composure cracked. Arrest me, she howled. I am the HOA. This is absurd. I'll sue every last one of you. Her purse hit the ground. She flailed, shrieking. This is tyranny. Daniel stayed cool. You're also disturbing the peace. Lee stepped forward and cuffed her without drama. Cynthia's orange suit flashed like a caution sign as she was led to the patrol car. The neighborhood watched, stunned, some smiling. Mr. Thompson raised a coffee cup from his porch. They drove off with her still ranting from the back seat. After collecting my statement, reviewing the footage, and copying the documents, Daniel shook my hand. Mr. Parker, this case is clean. You just saved us hours of paperwork. The aftermath was swift. Cynthia made bail, probably her husband, who remained a rumor himself. She faced multiple misdemeanor charges. Rachel, a board member, organized an emergency meeting. I presented the footage again, this time to a room full of gasping residents. The policy that gave Cynthia her illusion of authority was shredded. She was voted out unanimously. The HOA's attorney, red-faced, demanded reforms. Rachel took over as interim president. She promised transparency and resident-first governance. Peace returned to Cedar Hollow. People relaxed. Conversations restarted. Cynthia's influence evaporated. She later pled no contest. Fines, community service, and a restraining order followed. Ironically, part of her service involved cleaning up roadside litter. Not far from where Sentinel sat, unscratched and stoic. Rumor has it she's selling her house. Her car disappeared from the street. Maybe she'll try a new town. Maybe she'll try humility. One thing's for sure. When someone tries to control your life with fear and fake authority, document everything. And never let them think they own the lock to your door.